Welcome and greetings from a wet, wild and windy Sydney Harbour. A grey day here on the harbour for the final heat of the JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championships, brought to you by the Winning Group. As forecast, a southerly change passed through Sydney in the early hours of this morning. It's been gusting over 30 knots at times on the harbour, and we're going to see a very different course today. They've made some big changes, and the championship has already been decided. After yesterday's race, Smeg are the champions. The battle today, the real battle, is for the minor placings. And we'll go through the point score shortly. I'm Peter Shipway, joined by Andrew Buckland and James Bury, bringing this contest to you. And what has been a really thrilling 8-race series so far. And I'm sure today is going to be no exception with these very, very windy conditions. So Andrew Buckland, good afternoon to you. Talk through us the weather and what do you feel will happen today?
Thanks, Pete. As you've mentioned, good little cold front through Sydney this morning. Air temperature to the south of Sydney this morning around 14, and the ocean still offshore pretty hot. So differential between locally more or less between 14 and about 26, and that gives you some idea of the thermal potential of this cold front, and that's what we're seeing. And it's moderating a little as we speak, but earlier today we did see bits of 30. Cold, and the cold front is about 2,000 miles long end to end, and rain, rainy weather from Adelaide to Sydney, so that's 1,200 mile axis of rain. So breeze south-southwest, temperature here only about 16, so for early autumn that's a little cooler than usual, shall we say, but a cracker. And such a contrast. The models originally for this week had today a light northerly. Well, we've got the exact reverse. Is that enough, Pete?
It's far from a light northerly, I can assure you of that out on the harbour. I'll bring Jimmy Bury in. Jimmy, the course today, and what do you talk to us about that, and what do you think is going to evolve?
Thanks, Pete. Today's course is just windward leeward, 6 over 3, so 3 laps. What's going to evolve? I think we're going to see the likes of Smeg, Tech 2, Woody, Finport, Noakes going to eat this up. They love this, and the other one that really loves this weather is Marcus Ashley Jones on the Andu. So the boys are all primed here on board the boat, and we're to catch all the action and hopefully all the thrills and spills that people like to see, and hopefully we get them to you.
Well, I think we're going to see plenty of thrills, and I would imagine a few spills. Today's race sponsor is the Kitchen Maker, and we'll just go through the points. As I said, Smeg was assured of the title after yesterday when he finished second behind Tech 2, with Noakes sailing in third spot. So Smeg, Michael Coxon, Ricky Bridge and Trent Barnabas are the champions, and in second place on the points is Yandu as the winning group. Yandu winning group, they're on 27 points. Noakes sailing on 30 in third spot. Fourth is Shore in Partners on 34, and Tech 2 37, and Andu Marcus Ashley Jones on 38. Those boats will fight it out, but it's probably between the winning group and Noakes sailing for second and third. It's just which order that finishes in. So the full list on the point score, we'll give everyone a go here. Smeg first, winning group second, Noakes sailing is third, Shore and Partners fourth, Tech 2 fifth, Andu sixth, Bird and Bear seventh, Finport Finance eighth, Yandu ninth, the Oak Double Bay 10th, 11th is the Kitchen Maker, 12th is Noakes Blue, 13 Appliances Online, 14 Birkenhead Point Marina, 15 Vintech, 16 Queenslander, 17 Rag and Famish Hotel, 18 Lazarus Capital Partners, 19th Lumix, and 20 is Ilvay. But as we look up now, we're just at between Nielsen Park and Chowder. That's where the starting line is, and the beat will be up into Rose Bay. The breeze is up again, Andrew. We've got about 20 plus knots here.
Yeah, Pete, I mean, we're expecting it will move between probably 16 and some spiky bits that might see above 25 for brief periods. Just got to mention that the committee has used this course configuration to 3-lap windward leeward to avoid the skiffs having to go down to Obelisk twice. Difficult conditions down there with enough sea state coming around South Head from the Tasman Sea. And note that local wind speeds offshore up, a couple of miles off the land, up towards 35 knots. So significant sea state, and just to try and preserve the contest and make sure there's not, gross danger for the competitors here. We'll see enough, Pete, as you know, and 3 laps is a big test still in these conditions.
There's the committee boat. Well, just while we're waiting here, I'll bring Jimmy in again. Jimmy, we've had a few inquiries about your lovely new camera cat vessel. Just go through that for a few people that might have missed it on our first day. A bit of an overview of the boat and your new boat and how it's performing.
Yeah, it's performing exactly as the design spec was. It's a Blue Diamond 1050 custom boat, the Scotty Ramson's business, and Austin Kell from New Zealand. They designed this along with Rob Shaw, and it's doing everything I want it to do. It's keeping us dry. On days like today, out of the elements, we've got all, it's in full 2C survey, built to survey spec. And we're just, I don't know what else you really want to know about it, Pete. It's been a long build. It took us nearly a year to build this boat. And
more than a year, Jimmy, come on.
And what's the overall length?
10.5 metres.
And in beam?
3.5.
Right, okay.
Pete, I don't know if you remember the big Waimea Bay we got on yesterday, but Jimmy and I were having a chat after the race yesterday, and we kind of hypothesised that in the old camera cat we might have been worse than underwater, shall we say.
We'd be still out there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Anyway, it's a credit to you, Jimmy, and all the boys that made the effort and put the effort in. It's a terrific platform to be able to bring this live stream to you. So we're just waiting again for signals. It's looking down the track. It's up and down the wind. It's up. When it's up, it's 20 plus. When it's down, it's 12 or 15. But I think there's a few boats that will not be starting today because they realise they really can't have an impression on the point score. I know that the Oak Double Bay are not out. Rag and Famish Hotel's not out. I think Appliances Online, we saw her in the park earlier. She wasn't rigged, so we can only assume that she's not out. But a lot of the skiffs have got a reef in today. With their number 2 rigs, they've got the ability to reef the mainsail, and we saw a lot of them setting up in the park with a reef in. And talk to us about that, Andrew. What's I think Winning Group, we can see them. You can see
he's got a reef in. He's got a reef. Finport, no reef, and I think Tech 2, no reef. There's signals. And I think Smeek has no reef. So there's a bit of dispersion in the fleet there. The problem with the reef, Pete, and Winning Group's reef is probably about a foot, 300 millimetres or thereabouts. Not too large. As you reef the main, the luff curve intended for the top part of the mast moves down. And if you're not careful or you don't have a bit of clever stuff happening, the mainsail actually gets deeper. So you kind of defeat the purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
The reef's fantastic for a bearing away at the top mark. Lowers the centre of effort a bit. But you got to, and the 14s and some of the 18s back in the olden days, aluminium mast days, we'll call it that, used to have a removable stump on the bottom of the mast so that the luff curve stayed on the same amount of mast bend, which is a good solution. But in these carbon fibre days, that's not quite so simple, evidently. It probably is, but anyway. That's not what's being used.
You've got to remember, Bucko, these rigs are a lot straighter than the old alloy bendy rigs.
No, absolutely. But when, Pete, the difference, and to make the point for the viewers, difference between fast and slow in the luff curve is somewhere around the 6 mil too much or 6 mil not enough, and you're horrible, So you're talking about, pretty low deflections, low elasticity here, and for a critical setup like, say, Tech 2 uses, with not all that much twist and pretty flat cambers, they're, it's got to be pretty much, exact. Otherwise, no good.
Yeah, well, there's Tech 2. They do not have a reef in.
Yeah, and earlier in the year we saw them go around in this sort of stuff pretty comfortably, to be honest with you.
3 minutes 10 to go. That's Watson's Bay in the background. Tech 2 in the foreground. Rainy, drizzly day on the harbour. One good thing is there are not many spectators out.
Funny
or
that.
pleasure boats.
Funny that.
So still plenty of chop. There's a couple of boats still running down with spinnakers. They will make the start. 2 minutes 50 to go. The line, talk to us about the line, Jimmy.
The line is pretty much even, I think. I think what you'll find here is we're going to have a lot of people be like a Le Mans start. They're actually going to be well back, unlike previous days, and the hooter will go. They'll probably still be 10, 15 boat lengths from the start line, most of them. I think you probably got to start the boat in here, don't you think, Bucko, just to be out in a bit more breeze here?
Well, it depends if it's squall or
Yeah,
lull.
I know. It's a tough one.
Lots of things. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see some blokes start on port.
Yeah.
And be happy to be on port and be slightly late and just ripping.
Yeah, well, because they do that. It's almost like a one tack and up to the top mark in Rose Bay. So, I think you're probably right.
Because as you know, if you go on starboard, you're going to end up in less wind, and then you've got to tack in less wind, and that can be more expensive than you can think.
Yeah, well, and you've also got that, win, no win, win, no win moment up under Nelson Park there, and that, that's when you are going to capsize.
So, the camera boat, we are good 40 metres abeam of the starting boat, and they'll only be able to sail on starboard tack until they start encountering those sorts of issues for about probably not even 2 minutes, I would say.
Okay, we've got 1 minute 20 to go.
Here we go.
And I think what you're saying, if you go too far on starboard, you're going to end up under Nielsen Park Steel Point, as Jimmy was saying, and it gets very funky up there.
And highly unusual, the fleet racking up on port.
Yes.
More or less.
There's a couple on starboard.
Yep.
You can see Smeg got a few little wobbles up. They're 1 minute. And
anyway, shippers, can I just say this? I think this race will be won by a boat without a reef in. There you go.
Okay, well, there you go. If you can quickly get a bet on, you better get it on quickly.
I've already done all that.
Okay,
mate.
right. Okay, 40 seconds to go. Breeze 20 knots plus here.
And a little rain squall just coming out of Rose Bay. So welcome, folks.
The start between Bottle and Glass and the Western Channel Pile. So stacking up now, 20 seconds to go. The final heat of the JJ Giltinan Championship for this year, brought to you by the winning group. Few blokes getting onto starboard now.
And the breeze gone left on the face of the squall. Port tack will work.
10 seconds. No one's really rolling the dice too much on port. Oh, here comes the winning group. Oh, Bird and Bear's in trouble. They're away. Clean start. They're about 4 or 5 boat lengths behind. Winning group at the windward end. Probably good, as well as Tech 2 just ahead of them and to leeward. Smeg's down there as well. Andu, here comes Andu across on port. He's going to do what we thought some others may do. He's going to straight away on port and going out into midstream. Plenty of wind coming and plenty of rain.
But not extreme, Pete. And he's got the little reef in. Breeze looking upwind now, just in the low 20s.
Very pleasant.
No, I'm not sure about pleasant, but very pleasant in our little cabin, Peter, I noticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very pleasant in here, Bucko.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Noakes Blue leading Yandu and Tech 2 in towards Nielsen Park. Tech 2 just tacking. And if he went much further than that, it'd be very light or lighter and a few gnarly little puffs. But now everyone's getting back on port pretty quickly. Bird and Bear, she's got a really deep reef in her mainsail. Wow, look at that.
Looks really unstable, doesn't it, Bucko?
Yeah, it looks like he can't steer it.
He's down 1.5 metres from the top of the mast. That is a reef and a half.
That's a bash straight reef, Shivers.
Yep. Okay, away we go on port, up to Rose Bay for the first time. 3 laps, 3 windwards, 3 leewards, finishing downwind with a spinnaker. Well, hopefully they'll get a spinnaker up. I think they will.
No, there'll be no worries about that.
Okay, from the left.
So, and the breeze now back to even sort of thing. Noakes Blue actually won the start.
Yeah, there's Noakes Blue, Event Heritage.
Just had a bit of a dunking there, but
Yeah, just a few soft spots here.
yeah, but that's okay. They're going. Tech 2 leads now, though, Pete.
I think they do. Tech 2 and behind her the winning group, and behind them Smeg. They're the three boats that probably been the most consistent performers.
Yeah, they're the top three, sort of more or less.
Yes.
Along with Noakes. Who I can't find.
We haven't seen Noakes sailing.
I did see them. They were having trouble getting a knot out of the spinnaker.
No, Noakes were
way
in the tide down at Sound Pigs just before the start, so they'll be behind us. So
yeah, that's a shame. That is a real shame.
They'll come back into it.
Pete, plenty of racing.
There is. They're vying for third spot.
Yeah.
There's the Kitchen Maker on the right of screen. They won yesterday's handicap event in conjunction with the race. Jordan Gertis. In front of them is Yandu with a red and blue oval, and up in front is Tech 2, who's just tacked. Boats coming out of the right. Yandu will be interesting. He went hard right early, fought off the starting line. Winning group looks strong, as does Smeg.
Well, it's very even there between Smeg, Winning Group, and Tech 2. Probably Winning Group slightly in front right now.
Yes.
But plenty of sailing still to the top mark, which will be laid in the sort of southwestern corner of Rose Bay here, up near the Royal Motor Yacht Club, for those people familiar with the geography.
There's a nice clear runway up to the weather mark. There's not a solitary boat up there as far as spectators are concerned, although having said that, there's a ferry coming round Steel Point at Nielsen Park.
Anyway, for the viewers, we had a little poll on our camera cat commentary team. How many boats would get around without getting on the fin? And the estimates were quite low, Peter, weren't they?
Yes, I said 8. Well, that's low. Single figures. You can see the rain squalls in the distance. It's hard to see the city at times with so much rain. But anyway, back to the race. There's the winning group, trying to hang on to second place on the point score. John Winning Jr., Semi Jarvin, Sam Newton. Steel Point in the background. They're probably the three leading group. And up to windward is Yandu. There's Noakes Blue. She's just behind Yandu. There's Yandu now. Just behind, to the left of him is Andu. To leeward of them, Shaw and Partners. Shaw and Partners fourth on the point score. And Noakes Sailing is still a long way back. That's the bad news for the fans of Noakes Sailing. They're going into Rose Bay now. And the breeze, what breeze we got, Andrew? We've got about 15, have we?
Yeah, about 15, perhaps a bit of 18 here on the next bit. Tide ebb, Pete. Just the last of the ebb, but a bit of fresh water coming out as well. And I'm not sure why. The breeze turned back to the right a little here. Yandu looks like they're in pretty good nick.
Smeg right, Tech 2 right in on the shore. You can see him way in the distance. He's not far off tacking. It's the Steel Point shore. He'll come out and engage with Smeg and the winning group. There's Tech 2 left of screen. Smeg already crowned the champions. There's Tech 2 just tacked now. Smeg will across him. And the winning group will be across as well, I think.
Close with the winning group. Bow to bow, I would think, looking at that, Pete.
It's close. He's got to take.
Yeah,
he's got to take a couple of sterns there.
He's got a duck, I think, but he was even.
Yeah, so it's all pretty close. Tight at the top. Coming out off the shore, and the next boat he'll come in range with is Yandu, but he'll be clear ahead of Yandu's. So they're the three leaders. It's just a matter of who gets up here first, really. They're all going pretty quickly and pretty nicely. And the breeze, not too bad now. 16, 17 knots.
Yep.
Bit of chop, though.
Just bumpy with little white
Yep.
caps.
Gee, it was bumpy yesterday in that nor'easter on the harbour with spectator boats and yachts. And
Yeah, it's about 8 times as bumpy as this, I would estimate, Pete.
there's Tech 2. He's won 4 heats of this championship so far. Can he make it 5? Well, who knows? There's Yandu with Andu to leeward of him, and to leeward of her is Shaw and Partners. With going up into Rose Bay, Smeg and the winning group going still hard left, almost into the yachts at the Hermitage. Those that know Sydney Harbour. Lovely part of the world up there. Rather good real estate.
Cheap real estate.
Yeah,
too,
someone
Pete.
like
Yeah.
yourself, Andrew. Got to have a couple of houses up there. I know that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly.
Is John Winning Senior, 9th on the point score.
Now, I tell you what here, Pete, I think these guys have sailed in less wind and they're coming off the shore in a bit of a header. Wouldn't be surprised to see Tech 2 lead here. And, you know, for the viewers, Smeg, it's not an ideal day, obviously, to go for a little sail on Sydney Harbour. But when you've got commercial sponsors, you always have to turn up. And, you know, the guys themselves would want to turn up anyway, but there's some imperative commercial.
Well,
Yep.
I said to Michael Coxon yesterday with somewhat tongue-in-cheek, I said, oh, you could have the day off tomorrow. He said, no. He said, we want to be out there.
That's right.
And that's what we like to hear.
That's right.
And anyway, there's the winning group. And as you predicted, Andrews, Tech 2 will be in the lead.
From ducking winning group, they're now crossing Smeg by.
Well, they're miles ahead of the winning group. And that's just a little short distance.
Yeah.
The weather mark
Invisible.
is somewhere in the rain and the mist and the wind. We're just trying to spot it now. But anyway, Tech 2 leads. It's a 1.5 mile beat. And I'd say they're probably about 2/3 of the way up the windward leg now. We're just trying to...
I think on the back of the big cat up moored up there, Pete, but just here. Just here.
I've got it over here, boys.
No, it's over there.
Further
Okay.
around to the left.
Further around, okay. Just looking for anything that looks orange.
Yes.
Remotely orange. And take the point, viewers, when you sail in these skiffs, it is often quite tough to find the marks because you do have water in your face most of the time. We've got a windscreen wipe at Camera Cat now, and we're having trouble. So
I think just we're too comfortable, Bucko.
no such thing.
Tech 2's gone back to Smeg, and Smeg's done a pretty good job up there as well. So it'll be between Tech 2 and Smeg for the lead. Winning group will be 3rd, Yandu 4th.
And probably Finport 5th, I think, from a pretty slow start. Wow, it's spiky, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
It's
it's getting softer as we get approaching the weather mark.
Yeah. So Smeg couldn't be too far off the ley line, and you wouldn't think they should sail too much further, in fact.
The weather mark, you could nearly have lunch at Catalina's restaurant. It's way up into the bay. You'd dine there a bit, Bucko, when you at Catalina's?
He's got an account there.
Yeah, I
Pete.
think he has. We might use it tonight.
Big shout out to Mick McMahon. So Smeg in danger of and a bit of sick air here. Smeg in down pressure.
Smeg have a reef in, Tech 2 don't, so that will be benefit to Tech 2 up here, you'd think. Just looking back down the harbour, Manly covered in rain, misty day. Wow. Here's Smeg. It's light up here. Puffs will be lucky to be, 14 knots. The lulls will be probably 10-ish, 12.
Big gear changing from the guys in this. So we're getting to the windward mark in a lull. And the guys that stayed in the middle have done a little better here, Pete. The Finport coming out of the left, back in touch after starting in row. Which row, Jimmy, did you see?
Z3.
Z3. Crocs. But Woody hanging in there with a reef, so not too bad. But
He's got that big jib combination.
he's got the big jib and a reef. Let's have some lee helm, you know.
Well, they're still about 200 metres from the weather mark, so it's a long beat. Well, we've been racing just about 12 minutes. And Tech 2 and the winning group. But out to windward is Smeg. He's going to get a bit of a...
They're about to get a whoopsie off the ferry here.
Ferry, the May Gibbs. The ferry will create a bit of no wind area for Smeg, but there they go. Woo.
And no avoiding that.
No.
Just got to be prepared to cop a bit of a bashing. Just get wet and dip the wing a bit. And the port tackers, so Smeg might lead here.
Yeah, Smeg is very close with Tech 2. That's the winning group.
And Tech 2's going behind him.
taking his stern.
Yep.
Smeg's in a real soft spot. He's
One a big bear away from Tech 2. Huge. But Tech 2 going to come back on starboard.
yeah, that will give him the advantage. There's the winning group behind Smeg.
They're all suffering there from the wind hole left behind the ferry.
And the weather mark is about 200 metres from the foreshore here at Rose Bay. And it's very spiky here. There's a lot of soft wind areas here. Not many puffs at all. But once they get down back to the leeward mark, they'll be looking pretty strong in this breeze because there's plenty down on the main harbour. They're right up in Rose Bay here, just approaching the weather mark for the first time. And, oh, you can see Tech 2, who's leading, just running out a bit of wind. They should lay the mark.
Yeah, they're laying, and they should jibe set too, Pete.
So Smeg's now dropped back to fourth.
Good bit of puff coming for them just to do the bear away.
One here, nothing extreme. So Tech 2 leads.
But you wouldn't think it was the same race, David.
No,
you blokes.
no. They're not going to jibe.
Tech 2,
Good puff coming though.
about 8 seconds to winning group, got themselves in there. Then Yandu.
And Smeg had a pit stop.
Oh, Smeg's had a double shocker there.
And Finport's caught him.
Finport's going to go round in front of them.
Yeah.
Smeg will be fifth.
So Tech 2,
He missed it, so he'd come back and...
Tech 2 away on a good puff, and Smeg.
Oh, Smeg, now he's got to puff the other way. Oh.
And not looking quite their sharpest today.
No, and you cannot blame them.
And then they get a puff that doesn't let them get the bow down. So good almighty.
There they go. They're this year's winners.
Yeah.
They're still working hard at it.
They might have had a small celebration last night, I suspect.
Oh,
and now...
Get on, Smeg.
Smeg, they just got a good puff. Almost went in. The kitchen maker screaming around. He's sixth. Then Noakes sailing. Good job from Yvette again. And Noakes sailing. She is seventh. Eighth, Shaw and Partners.
With no reef. Vintech with no reef.
Vintech 9.
And Noakes coming to the mark 10.
Noakes and Andu. Wow.
Yep. But, I mean, Noakes was further back than fullback.
Yeah,
And
he's made some progress.
He's made good yards, I would say.
Okay, there's Andu around. He got a bit lost up there too. Andu in a good puff. Now is Noakes sailing, 11th.
And I think he's done the right thing doing a job.
Yeah, he's got the reef in. Well, there's Ilvi in 12th. Okay, the leaders are on their way down to the leeward mark. It's a 3-lapper, 2 windward, 2 leewards. Tech 2 led at the weather mark the first time by about 10 seconds. from the winning group, and Yandu was third. Finport was fourth.
And looking downwind. Tech 2 leads comfortably from winning group. VMG on the camera cat 36 knots.
And dry, Bucko.
We're looking at Finport and Yandu here. Yandu now in shot with Tech 2 in front of them, away in the distance with the red shoe. Fair bit of west in that, Pete. Breeze, if anything, rotated a little here. Tech 2 nearly on the low line. Travelling with Yandu, who are probably overstood. On winning group now, jibing to go. Mark just near Tech 2. Tech 2's completed a jibe. Tech 2 in the background there, just about to pull it off.
Yandu has got into second place here.
The overlay turned good.
Father teaching son what to do. Just got round steel point. The breeze kept heading. Brought Yandu right into the game.
He now got an awkward two-sail jibe though, Pete. And a good squall coming.
Absolute ripper coming round steel point.
Yeah, winning group might get back in front of him here, mate.
Yeah,
Young fella showing old bloke what to do. It's all good.
They dropped early on the Yandu.
And now he's got a down.
Well, the other thing too, guys, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go.
Is the other mark is not in. They're still working on it.
Still,
so that's why Tech 2, they were heading for it, and they're going, what's going on? They're coming back this way.
Correct. So they've all... Yandu goes round first. Tech 2 second, just inside the winning group. And very windy.
And
Tech 2 missed the mark. Well, as you say, Jimmy, yes, the other gate mark, there's two marks here, a left and right gate.
Was drifting, perhaps.
I don't know.
It's drifting now because it's attached to a boat.
Yeah, that's right. Tech 2 now got an awkward
so
and a big squall too, Pete.
got a jibe here, or they tack.
No, they'll jibe.
Another jibe. Finport
They'll jibe.
got to get the job done.
So, well called, Pete. Tech 2 just got caught out there.
Yes.
Getting ambitious.
Father leads son. Yandu first, the winning group second, Tech 2 now third. They finally get this. Finport fourth, so he remains at fourth, and Smeg coming in now with a white chute just ahead of Shaw and Partners and the Kitchen Maker. That's the Kitchen Maker with a white chute behind Smeg. Smeg dropping now. There's only one mark here.
Yeah. So, Pete, the natives on Tech 2 will be a bit unhappy with all that.
I would think so.
And you'll see some determined sailing now, I would predict.
Oh, there's good breeze again here.
Yeah. Still, not too many guys yet been on the riding lever. Noakes before the start, for a variety of reasons. But good score coming out of Rose Bay, so.
Oh, the Kitchen Maker just round now. Outside him is Shaw and Partners. Jibe going into Noakes Blue.
Oh.
Hang on.
Maybe I'll dunk the wing, save it.
Yeah, that's it. They're around.
Oh, too much jib on,
And
boys.
will be next. Then Noakes sailing.
So Noakes going to do a two-sail jibe. Here he goes. down speed, but okay.
So they've got the job in front of them to hang on to third place on the point score. Having been a long way back now, they're around in a good squall. That's close to 20 knots, and in the background you see a boat capsizes Ilve. The poor old bird and bear, she's really struggling with that big reef in the mainsail, as Vintech will be the next around.
So the fleet all on port out into a big right-hand shift. Just looking upwind now.
Except
That's
winning group, she went right, left, I think.
Yeah, winning group's right over on Steel Point, just to the left of screen at the moment.
And that looks a bit the wrong way-ish.
Yeah, it's still windy out on the harbour. Grey, a few
There's
rain squalls coming
Lazarus
down.
and Bird and Bear.
They're the last two. So there's a few boats that have not started or have gone home after getting out here. There's the Bird and Bear just dropping. You can see the rain on the harbour. This is the second windward beat, the 3-lap course. Andu going into Steel Point. Above him, the Noakes sailing. And then Vintech still on port tack. Breeze back in again here, Andrews. More, a little bit of southwest in this, isn't there?
Yeah, it's got
Right
another
hand.
got another point to the right, Pete. Nearly true southwest now. You know, we're motoring almost dead upwind on 210 compass.
That compass ain't right, bucko. I've got to get hold of old mate to come and swing that compass. I just put it there to annoy you.
Yeah, it's probably actually about 195.
Yeah, got to get hold of Peter Lambert, is the man to swing compasses.
South-southwest. So, Pete, looking at that, and if we can look upwind, Chits. Winning group narrowly across Tech 2 only.
I'm looking for Yandu. Well, we're on the kitchen maker here. She's got herself into about 6th spot, 5th or 6th. And where Yandu went, she led the fleet round the leeward mark.
Invisible.
She'd come to grief, or anyway, that's Noakes sailing, trying to catch Noakes Blue. Every place vital here for the Noakes sailing to maintain 3rd spot on the point score. Winning group look to have 2nd place sewn up at this stage. And we're just about halfway through, almost halfway through this race. Sean Langman, Ed Powis and Josh Probeski going into Steel Point.
Woody's way off up, just to the right of screen, way up in the bay, mate. He's put the afterburners on.
Absolutely. As Noakes sailing with a reef in, they tack. Breeze is about 16, 18 knots at best. It looks like the Yandu is flying. There's the kitchen maker. Yandu leads from Tech 2 and the winning group. That's Tech 2, Finport and the winning group on screen now. There's a big rain squall coming down Crossroads Bay. See Yandu crossing that group. She's a clear leader.
Yeah, you'd imagine that Tech 2 would have grounds for a protest, but I'm not sure they want to spend any more time in that room.
No.
Bree's gone hard left, so a bit surprising. These guys are, Tech 2's tacking now into some left-handed air from the rain squall. Look at that.
Big lefty, which could hurt Yandu out to the right a little, but Tech 2 behind winning group, who are attacking now. That's the battle for 2nd and 3rd.
Very odd, but big shifts here.
big rain squall coming through, Andrew. Look at this over Rose Bay.
Yep.
Can't even see the Royal Sydney Golf Club.
Might end up with some suppression of the wind, in fact.
Yes. Yeah. So they're standing in towards Shark Island, and Yandu, the race leader's right in on Shark Island, has just tacked onto starboard to go alongside the island. They're about halfway up this beat, the weather mark in Rose Bay, 3 lap, windward leeward. This is the second windward beat. And the old fella, John Winning, showing these young blokes how to do it. He's got a terrific lead. He's 40 seconds or plus ahead.
Nearly a minute, I'd say.
Yeah, he's just got to... It's got tricky up in the bay, though. A lot of holes, a lot of puffs.
Yeah, easy to get this bit wrong. You know, the wind here now 12 to 20 and plus or minus 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, just big.
Oh, yeah, Yandu's in. Oh, no.
So we said 12 to 20, and that was an 8-knot lull, Pete.
Oh, what a tragedy.
They were looking upwind, and they weren't looking at what was happening to their wind.
They went into windward.
Yeah. Well,
How quick can they get it up?
these boats have got a lot of riding moment, and when the wind goes away, you better be running.
Well, they had a commanding lead.
And that's the other problem of the reef, Pete, that
Yeah.
you know, you don't have enough to lean on.
Yeah, so Smeg now,
Tech
Tech
two.
2 will lead.
And winning group here.
Winning
winning
group
group nearly
also.
in the duck,
Oh,
wow.
they're going to...
Nearly in the tide, trying to duck Tech 2.
There's a good squall coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all happening up here. They're right at Shark Island here, these boats. So Tech 2 leads, got himself back in front.
There's
Yandu
getting
trying to get himself up in the background. Back in they go. And now sort of in the right way to get the boat up. But no, it'll be very quiet on Yandu. It's very quiet skipper, John. Oh, that is a shame. He was really having a great race, but unfortunately it's all part of the deal. You've got to get to that finishing line. As the breeze is up again, Tech 2 probably about 400 metres from the weather mark. That's right up in Rose Bay. They're the 2 leaders. And coming into third spot will be Finport.
Finport with no reef, and they started, as we said, in row Z. So you'd imagine it's possible that they'll catch winning group, because clearly the reef is, well, not clearly, but it's likely the reef is a bit too conservative.
Meanwhile, Smeg's gone right into the shore at Rose Bay under the convent. And I think
The 2 leaders here in a good bit of pressure, 18 to 20.
I reckon Finport will be on these 2 by the bottom mark. There's my prediction. They're right behind the camera cab from where we're filming at the moment.
Yeah.
Motoring through
and
the
they're
fleet.
actually sailing pretty fast.
Yeah.
High right at the moment, favouring the winning group.
and plenty of pressure. 20 knots plus here.
Yeah.
Fully extended.
So here comes Tech 2.
Oh, not. He's winning group is going to be behind him, I think. No, yes, they will
Tech
be.
2's across.
Tech 2's across.
Comfortably.
Not much in it.
Yeah.
It's a good battle.
3 boat lengths cross, Pete.
Oh, I'll give you 2.5 at best. Okay, winning group come back on port. That's the only disadvantage. A really good squall here they're in. Not far off attack to lay this mark.
And Tech 2 will go to the starboard tack low line.
It's a port rounding here. Sam Newton, Savvy Jarvin, John Winning Jr. They're about 100 metres from this weather mark, and breeze is up. Breeze is up, the rain is up.
And the Yandu's up. Sorry, viewers,
Yeah.
not on screen, but looking downwind, he's sailing again at full speed, but he'll be back in about 7th.
Okay, Smeg set himself up on the lay line here, as Tech 2 on the lay line.
And rounding in about 16, 18, so they shouldn't have any trouble.
Tech 2 leads. Winning group, a couple of boat lengths behind him in second spot. Okay, Tech 2's around. Jack McCartney, Charlie White and Lewis Brake. They won yesterday in a bouncy nor'easter.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good win for them, Pete, you know, given their upwind mode of high and, you know, trimmed hard, bouncy water. Wow, and they're off on a good one.
Yep.
Both boats off on a good one.
Finport will be third, then Smeg fourth, close to Finport. Shaw and Partners, Kitchen Maker. Then
Noakes, Andu, sort of.
yeah, Noakes, Andu,
Noakes
two Noakes
Blue.
boats,
Yeah.
and Yandu.
Great stuff here, the winning group, and reasonable noise. Tech 2 driving away in them. You just see them cross the picture shortly. There they go. Tech 2. Winning group
Winning
just
group.
follow, just staying in touch,
Lovely jibe.
which is not a bad thing. A beautiful
Yeah.
jibe from the winning group.
Good.
Shitwave, you've been
Good.
coaching them, mate.
I have.
Absolutely.
I mean, got them in this simulator.
Simulator.
Every night. There we go.
There's the yacht race, 1-2.
Now, will we have the the Leeward Gate in place? That's the question. Because it was out, it wasn't there last time, and it caused a bit of mayhem, especially with Tech 2. 2 marks down here they're going to.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a trap for the leader here. The leader's got to figure out where
Find
the
out.
mark is.
Yeah.
And
The other
figure
blokes
out
can
which
follow
one to
him.
go to.
They're laying down to Steel Point. Last time down here, the breeze bent down and headed them as they got round Steel Point and laid them almost down to, well, it did lay them down to the gate.
Got the spectator ferry coming into play for the
Yes.
winning group.
This is 18-footer racing. This is what happens.
These are about the only boats out on the harbour watching. There's a few odd spectator boats, but it's very wet and wild, as I said earlier.
Still, plenty of body heat on the spectator ferry. Tech 2 on a screamer in
They're
the
getting the
background.
bow down in front of the winning group.
Wow, smoking there. So that's over 20, that puff. Fantastic.
Let's get Tech 2. Go.
Great shot of Tech 2. Fully wicked. Oh. Hang on, old boys. You'll be right.
Yeah, they're just in a bit of bouncy water. A bit of precautionary ship ragging and then sheet it back on again.
There's more gust coming towards them. Really good.
That is very
Gust.
solid, yeah?
Yeah, good gust now.
I don't want to jibe, please, sir.
Give me a header. We want a header here.
Yeah. Or a lull.
Or a lull. Either or.
Yep.
Okay, I can see one gate mark. Is the other one there?
So, Gioldi, Yui Camera Cat is doing 27 and we're just gaining on winning group.
Here comes the jibe on Tech 2, boys.
Fully completed safety jibe, we call that, holding the weather sheet on a bit, just to make sure when they'll jibe drop into the mark. And Pete, I think there's only one mark.
Only one mark now, yeah.
So they won't be taking too much risk here, I don't think. You know, they've jibed in the right place. Winning group has been historically often optimistic about their bottom mark approaches. So we're about to see here.
Yeah, Tech 2. There's only one mark here. One leeward mark. Tech 2 jibe and then drop. Oh, okay. There's the mark. Just,
Can't dial up yet. Yes, he can. Wow.
yeah.
That was a brave move, wasn't it, Bucko?
Spinnaker still to come down.
Yeah, but they've got the bow up and they're
Wrestling,
okay.
yeah.
You look at the puff on winning group
Look
when
at
they
the puff
jibe
on
back
winning
here for
group.
the jibe drop.
Winning group putting some pressure on Sammy. Oh my God.
It's where the good crews come to the fore. Got to just get the bow up now. There they go. They're
And then
good.
Finport in the background is absolutely hammering down.
Yes. Finport will be third.
Finport setting up to jibe, actually.
Like they're trying the old soak down, Bucko.
So get the pole back.
Get the pole back.
Yes.
She waits the 20th century.
Oh, sorry.
21st century.
Who's the kicker? I'll get the pole back.
Yeah, righto. No, Finport pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But they've got it done, I think, Jimmy, eh?
And a long gap then to fourth.
Yeah.
Shore and Partners in fourth.
I don't know where Speg is. They're probably enjoying
Cup of tea somewhere.
the victory lap, I think.
Cup of tea. Finport wing into the bottom mark. But they got the job done. Well done. All those boats. Nothing easy about what we just saw. Shore and Partners coming at us.
Yeah. 20 knots here plus. Here's Shore and Partners. And then Yandu behind them in the rain and the mist. They were the leader halfway up the beat, and they had that capsized to windward. And they've got themselves back into about 8th position.
Shore and Partners get a VMG run in from there as well.
Another one that needs to get the pole back.
Which is not a bad decision. I mean, 2 jibes in rain-squall weather.
Not recommended, really.
Fairly high premium usually. Not too bad.
Tell you who I can't see is Smeg.
I think that's them way up on the other side, like at the east side of Shark Island.
Yeah, I think Smeg might have had a visit to the riding lever, Peter.
So around for the final beat to windward.
Oh, God.
Comes
and
with full noise.
Marcus on the Andu.
Just go around to the right, we'll see them.
Cam Gunny and Geronimo Harrison helping out, and my goodness.
There's Yandu. He won't want to leave the jibe too much longer. No, there he goes.
And how about that? The Andu conservative drop. That's
very un-Marcus, isn't it?
Unheard of. He's usually at full pedal.
Change man.
So Tech 2 leads from the winning group, Finport. Shore and Partners are 4th. Kitchen Maker could be 5th or Andu 5th. Oh, Andu is going to jibe in front of the Kitchen Maker, so he'll be going for 5th spot.
Yeah. And Yandu making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and Noakes getting up to Noakes, sailing to 9th, and Noakes Blue to 8th. These points very vital to Noakes sailing if he wants to finish on 3rd on the point score. Well, he's got a 4-point buffer to Shore and Partners.
Yeah, so yeah.
Just have to do a bit of mathematics closer to the finish, I think, to see what happens here.
Bucko's got an abacus he keeps in his little bag, Pete.
Yeah, good, okay. And yes, Smeg must have come to grief up there somewhere. He's well back. Oh, Noakes Blue.
Dicing.
Yeah, well, Noakes sailing's round in front of Noakes Blue. They're going to granny, I think, the Noakes Blue off camera.
And
Noakes sailing is around.
And nothing wrong with that either.
No.
For the viewers, it's
So they're round on port, the boats 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, and just come into the screen in a moment. We'll see Noakes Blue. 1, 2, 3, there they are. Yandu tacking.
Now, Noakes Sailing needs to make some places up on this beat. There doesn't look like there's great opportunities on the run, Pete.
No. They've only got this beat to do it.
With a reef in and both boats in front of them, the same configuration, more or less, Andu and the Kitchen Maker.
They're the 2 Noakes boats. Sean Langman in Noakes Sailing and Event Heritage in Noakes Blue. The only girl skipper in the fleet. She handles that boat beautifully. Oh, it's wet. You can't even see Rose Bay now. The rain is tumbling down. Breeze is up and down. It's 20 plus knots in the gusts, and soft spots probably about 15, 16. Shore and Partners.
They've really impressed me this regatta, Pete. Like they're just consistently getting better and better and better at knowing this boat.
Yeah, it's not a bad looking scorecard, mostly third and fifth sort of thing.
Yeah, but for first year, Bucko, that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Jim Colley, Sean Connor and Harry Bethwaite. Famous name there, the Bethwaite name.
Seen Julian wandering around earlier, Pete.
Yeah, Julian, he'll be
and sister Nikki's she was in the
Yep.
club.
And Uncle Mark was there, so it was a Bethwaite clan.
Didn't see Mark, but yeah,
Yep.
good to know he's here as well.
And Julian Bethwaite, and Harry's father, a dual champion.
Yeah, Mark was giving us a bit of help about laser sail sizes, the shipways daughter. And he did admit to not knowing much about 18-footers, so there you go. Wow, now we can't hardly see the leaders. We're travelling alongside Finport.
There's Finport,
Off in the distance there they are, the leaders.
Keegan York,
Yeah.
Matt Stenter, Phil Marshall, currently in third spot.
In this race, but only 8th overall.
Go up and meet up with the leaders. They look like they're getting close together.
So at this stage, halfway up the final beat, you'd say that the winning group will consolidate second place overall. Remembering Smeg have already won the championship.
And Note Sailing struggling to hang on to third.
Yes.
They're just in third as we speak, Pete.
Yep.
After starting in the back stalls. See, enough wind here that Tech 2 is struggling a little bit.
It's windy as the winning group tack. John Winning Jr., Sevi Jarvan.
And Tech 2 might let him go, I
Sam
think.
Newton.
And just in the pretty fresh bit of wind there. Winning group with a little reef in the main. This score here, probably about 25 on the front side of it.
Absolutely, Bucko.
Mainsail inversion on the winning group.
Can't tell in here though. It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Now, what we saw last week, during the week, and we didn't spot it on camera, but to get more riding moment, the skipper, John Winning Jr., was out on the shoulders of Sevi Jarvan.
1 foot on Sevi's shoulder and 1 foot on Sam's shoulder.
Not a bad act.
No. But not for a day like today.
No,
Peter.
Too woolly
puffy
today
for that,
to try
yeah.
that.
But a little bit of innovation, which is what 18-footers are all about.
Called tower trapezing, Peter.
There's Point Piper and Clark Island in a misty background. Can't even see the city.
Visibility about a mile, perhaps.
Probably about 2/3 the way up this windward work into Rose Bay. The buoy is right up in Rose Bay. And there's the winning group and Tech 2.
And I think Tech 2's
background.
gained a bit here, Pete, by standing out to the right. Yet to be proven. And winning group here in not much wind now. Where we are, we're adjacent to them. And another puff coming, but a bit weird in this corner of the bay because of the high hill. Winning group now back on port, but not too much wind.
It's got the ferry coming out of wharf where the mark is, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Half Sydney's disappeared in that rain. There's Ilvo running down. She's almost a lap behind. Anyway, good on them. They're still out here.
Only way to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Tech 2 leads by about 5 boat lengths.
Still good wind now in Rose Bay near the weather mark. Oh, Tech 2.
Oh, they're treating it seriously.
Thanks very much. I'm going to get gas you.
Yep. Well, they know if they lead at the top, jib off in the puff. So that's a good puff. Wow. Oh, they're pretty close to the Port Tack ley line, Pete, anyway. They'd be optimistic that if they just lead at the top, they'll be fine without a reef, yeah.
They'll just both go out to the starboard ley line here, you'd think. About 50 metres or so to get to that. Nice puff they're in, these 2 leaders.
Plentyon.com.
Oh, wow. Tech 2 just had to stab one fully up inside both sails for a second, so big squall. They're on the ley line now. They'll be tacking very shortly. 3, yeah, here we go. Conservative ley lines from both boats here.
This squall lasts, it'll be a good bear away here.
Well, they've overstood it easily, and winning group not tacking yet, so
There they go.
interesting. Tech 2 struggling to get the bow down to the mark at all. Here they go. Wow. Tech 2 not comfortable.
A bit more breeze coming at them here. Winning group in a beauty. Tech 2, they're okay.
Yeah, and Tech 2 will just hoist. Won't take any risk here. Surprisingly enough, these boats easy to jibe with a shoot up. 2-sail jibe in an up range is about the hardest thing you can do.
Okay, winning group get nice and low around the mark. There's the set. Okay. We're on our way home. On our way home. Tech 2 leads. The winning group second. Finport third. Championship already won by Smeg.
Now Tech 2's got to get out of this corner. Less wind in the corner here. Here they
Look at
go.
winning group
Winning
gaining
group
on them.
charging up to them.
Yep.
Winning group will cross ahead. Will they? Yes, starboard tack. Oh, they're going to jibe on
they're
them.
gonna jibe.
They're ahead. Winning group have grabbed the lead. Oh, Tech 2 have got a screamer. They're going right up the exhaust pipe of the winning group.
They only know one way, Tech 2. Get on the high side and have a crack, you know.
There they go. Look at this. What another great race we've got. The final heat of the JJ Giltinans for this year.
So Jack and the boys pretty confident of their ability at this. Memorably over the top of Smeg in the first heat, Pete, on the run to Obelisk. Amazing.
Oh, what a race.
Well, Tech 2's just dusted them. No reef, able to sail, and there's only the Port Tacker coming up wind that might cause them a bit of trouble.
Oh, and Vintech.
The old Vintech right in the middle.
So for the viewers, the distance you can see on screen is a little exaggerated by the lens. The lead there is only about 4 boat lengths.
Halfway down the run, plenty of wind coming.
Just got one accurate jibe, Pete.
Yep.
Are you good for it, mate?
It's a one mistake here, and a lot can change. Great work by both crews here. Just a little quicker of downwind there, Andrew, as you said in the Tech 2. Yeah. I think John Winning Jr. knew that early on in this regatta.
Yeah. Tech 2 not too far off a jibe, you'd think.
Oh, Winning Group have gone low in a nice gust here.
If we can find the finishing line ourselves.
Yeah. Tech 2 will go across the front of him. If he can line this finishing line up, 1 and in, I would think, if he can get there. He's going to...
Bit of coverage from the spectator
ferry. Well, it could jibe in their lead.
No, that doesn't work, Pete.
No. Gets very squirrely. There he goes.
There he goes.
Crew in.
I can see the committee boat now, just.
Okay, gets the jibe done. And the Winning Group have got very low. And Tech 2 and Winning Group almost bow to bow. Will Winning Group get across? Oh, they're going to jibe early. Where's the finishing line? That's the key to it. Yeah, the Winning Group need a gust, a really good gust here. I think they're above the finishing line. Race is on.
And pretty hard for them to jibe from there, Pete. Wow. Fantastic. So the wind speed just a bit above 20, probably 20, 22 here. Pretty good conditions for these boats. Ignoring the rain, of course.
Winning Group should get there looking where the finish pin is. It's up here, boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Winning Group could do this. It's a long, long line.
Well,
I think they can finish this championship off in style.
I think Tech 2 needs to jibe, possibly. I don't know.
No, I think the Winning Group are going to do it.
That's a long line, isn't it? I didn't realise it was that long.
No, it is a super long line. Winning Group.
So well done to the Winning Group.
Yeah, terrific. They got the jibe right. Well, a lovely way to finish the regatta. They will finish in second spot.
Well, there we are,
on the
folks.
point score. Winning Group first, Tech 2 second. Wow, what about that? What about that? Another great race. John Winning Jr., Sevi Jarvin and Sam Newton.
Tech 2 entitled to be disgruntled for the missing gate mark on the bottom of the first
They've had a fine regatta, Tech 2, but probably a regatta they probably don't want to remember too fondly.
Well, they led 6 races, Pete, and you know,
four wins. And a distant third will be the mighty Finport. So a grey, miserable day on the harbour, but not for the Winning Group. Champagne for those boys.
It was brilliant sailing by them to get through there, wasn't it?
Terrific finish.
Well, you had to make the note the previous lap. How long is the finish line? And it was long.
Finport coming in third, Keegan York, Matt Stenter and Phil Marshall.
So that sort of bookends their regatta, doesn't it? They started with 2 third places, and they're going to end with third in the last race, but some mildly indifferent pieces in the middle. And they're only about a minute adrift. They were nearly a minute behind at the start line, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
One would have said. So now looking upstream. Shaw and Partners held on to 4th here, and Andrew in 5th.
Shaw and Partners have plenty on there.
Yes, Shaw and Partners, so they will finish 4th.
Yep, you can write that on your sheet, Pete.
Yeah. So we need to work out what that does to their points, because they'll be vying for 3rd position overall with Noakes. So they will go, just bear with me, to 4. They'll go to 41.
So Noakes is 2 boats behind them, Pete.
Well, that should be enough for Noakes, I think.
Yeah, to hold on to 3rd.
Okay, so Shaw and Partners, fine regatta from Jim Colley, Sean Connor and Harry Bethwaite. They're 4th.
Yeah, and from a slow start, they've slowly come together over the season and promises. They've eaten it, have they?
No.
God,
Cross the line, though.
They're done. They're
Yeah.
done, okay.
Here comes Marcus, hammering in.
You saw what I was looking at, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here comes Andu in 5th spot. Solid regatta for those boys.
Yeah, and their worst race at 10th, so mostly around 5th.
So they will finish. No,
Look who's sneaking down the shoreline over here, Bucko.
The Smegler.
Mighty Smegler.
Yeah. But I think the critical thing here, though, Jimmy, is that Noakes on screen is going to hang on to 3rd place despite.
So Noakes will get 6th.
Yeah, terrible start, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Smeg's come back from, I think, some standing on the riding lever.
Blowing some dust off, you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Is Noakes Blue going to... Oh, okay. There's Yandu going across, the kitchen maker. Noakes Blue. But here's the champion. 2021, Michael Coxon, Ricky Bridge, and Trent Barnabas. The JJ champions, Michael Coxon's 2nd title. He won it in 2017. For Trent Barnabas, his 6th crown. Puts him in elite company there. And Ricky Bridge, his 2nd title. He was won on Smeg when Lee Napton was the skipper. Ricky Bridge, 5 Australian 16-foot champions.
In the bow. In the bow.
Wonderful crew, man.
Yep.
His son just won the Manly Junior Australian title, so what a great family of sailors. And Ricky Bridge, one of the nicest blokes going around, but there they are. And Michael Coxon, a worthy champion, a popular champion. And Trent Barnabas, wow, what a record. 3 titles with his father, Trevor. This is his 2nd title with Michael Coxon. And he won with Ewan McNichol. So there they are. There's going to be a championship ribbon put on at some stage, we believe, by Julian Bethwaite. But they'll probably do that closer to home at Rose Bay. There they are, quite drenched, but pretty happy. I don't think we can speak highly enough of them. Very consistent, just handshakes all round.
Yeah. And a bit old school, Pete, you know. And well, they're not to a man young men, are they?
No.
You know, it's the wrong side at 40, shall we say, more or less.
Yeah, but what a crew. I mean, Trent, 6 JJ titles, Ricky Bridge, 5 Australian 16-foot titles, and now 2 JJ Giltinans, and Michael Coxon, 2 JJs. It's a wonderful record, and experience plus. That's a great overhead shot.
Yep.
They'll be desperate to get back to that club and get in some warm clothes and enjoy the festivities that await them tonight.
Are they going to the Spectator Ferry now,
They might be going towards the ferry to try and get the ribbon put on.
They can get the bow down.
If they can get the bow down. But I think while we're focusing on Smeg, I think provisionally Noakes will finish third on the point score behind Smeg and the winning group.
Yeah, so they finished as they started this morning, more or less. Shaw and Partners, another good result. Tech 2 led at stages.
I
they
think
could.
Tech 2, despite his 2 disqualifications, will finish equal 4th on points.
That's incredible,
with
isn't it?
Shaw and Partners.
Well, potentially they could have won 5 of the 9 races.
Yeah. Well, 4 wins.
Pretty amazing.
The second. But Smeg's counting 3 wins, 3 seconds, a 4th and a 6th. It's a well-deserved title.
No, we're going to put the ribbon on back in calm waters.
I would think so. Everyone desperate to get home now. So this will be like the last Sunday in July in the famous cycling race, the Tour de France. You come into Paris and you can drink the champagne and do a victory lap. And look, that's what they've done today. those boys. Nice to go out and sail with a bit of freedom. I'm sure the capsize or whatever chicken wing they had up, that didn't worry them at all. But if it was for real, it would have been a real problem for him. But they had the title sewed up after yesterday. Everyone on their way home now. The Bird and Bear, probably the last to finish. A grey, wet, wild Sydney Harbour.
And a yacht up the bay there, Pete, to the left of Andu, with a storm jib up.
He's probably overpressed, I'd say.
An orange jib. Who would have thought? Smeg just cruising home, but cruising means 3 guys on the wire.
Yeah. Pretty content guys, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I was puzzling about Ricky. I thought, God, he's been a forward hand at some point, and then I just checked in with him, and he said, oh, no, in the 16.
Yeah, in the 16s.
With Lee Napton.
Yeah. And I asked him how would Coco go on the bow, and he said, not too good. You know?
Well,
but to be fair, I mean, Trent Barnabas has been one of the incredible achievers at a pretty difficult job. And our director, Michael Chittenden, took a famous picture of Trent with a whole spinnaker in one hand.
yeah, there you go.
But not something many people could do, I don't think.
No.
Well, Trent Barnabas' father was out here today watching on.
Trevor and Gail, his mum
he
and
was
dad.
with Michael Coxon's dad, Rick Coxon. Sure, very proud of their boys. And also, I should make mention of Baz Atkins, who's put a lot of work into this boat to get them up to speed, and it's really borne fruit for them. And full marks to Baz.
Yeah, so Pete, if we just go back a bit, you know, it's sort of interesting. The first 2 days of the regatta, Smeg blew the doors off them up the last long beat in a breeze, a bit like today. And then the second race, big sail, sort of downrange nor'easter, they couldn't get out of the peloton with some wrong rig settings selected. And we'd almost, you know, gone, can we help at all? Because this isn't the Smeg that we came for, you know. And then they just got lit up and won 2 in a row. And then didn't let go. 1-1-4-2-1-2. That's good enough.
Good, solid stuff. But Trevor out here, Trevor Barnabas, of course, a multiple champion in the JJs.
And he's never been in the bow.
Doesn't need to be. So good in the back.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, we want you to know, Shepherds, that the camera cat is run by the She-Dance Union. That'll be Jimmy and me, okay?
Okay.
Jimmy went all right in the 16, I heard. I went okay a couple of centuries ago in an 18, you know.
I was in the bow of the 18 for a while, and that was difficult.
No, there's
So
nothing,
slide back to the next spot.
nothing,
It was easy.
nothing easy about that job.
We're going to try and wait, Jimmy, I think, if we can get the ribbon on.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
If that's okay. It's probably got 15 minutes or so to sail if they're going to do it up in Double Bay. They're just off Bradley's Head at the moment. We'll stick with the winners, the champions. And they join, you know, a list of famous names that have won this title, going right back to 1938. When the late James Giltinan was President and Secretary of the Australian 18-footer League. And he donated this trophy, which bears his name.
And also the trophy for the Rugby League Premiership.
That's right. The first title was won by Bert Swinburne in Taree in 1938.
The boat was called Taree, not at Taree.
No, Taree. The boat was called Taree, yes.
Nearly got you.
Then New Zealand had their first win in 39, and then it was during the war, the Second World War. This title wasn't held, and the next one was in 48 in Crow's Nest. New Zealand won it again in 1950.
With a scow type boat, the Kamutu.
Yeah.
All good.
And of course, the last 3 winners have been the New Zealanders, Honda Marine, David McDiarmid. Unfortunately, they couldn't be with us to defend for obvious reasons with COVID. So we hope to get them back next year.
I was speaking to Sue Ellen this morning, Pete, from Live Sail Die. They're all watching, and they definitely want to be back here next year. So all the Kiwi guys want to get back out here and try and rip this trophy back off us.
Well, they won in 2018, the first of their 3 wins, and that was the first time New Zealand had won since way back in 1974 when Terry McDell and his brother Kim and Peter Brook won in Travelodge, New Zealand. And then there was a long list of Australian winners and a couple of UK winners thrown in, a couple of USA winners. But then David McDiarmid rewrote the record books for New Zealand with 3 successive wins.
Yeah, Pete, I thought it was pretty interesting yesterday talking to Timmy Robinson, you know, who won in 1999. His description of learning how to sail an 18 and then second phase learning how to sail an 18 and race an 18 on Sydney Harbour. And because we've grown up here, we probably don't, you know, necessarily appreciate the complexity, but we are accustomed to looking at the traffic and all the other nuances that occur here, which not many race courses have, but also the fact that the courses are geographic and go around the headlands and you've got to select spinnakers and do 2-sail reaches and all sorts of...
Well, no better example than that yesterday, Andrew, in that nor'easter, you know, there was a lot of traffic on the harbour, there's a lot of chop on the harbour and a lot of directional changes around headlands and islands, as you say.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy matter of just getting out there and going in a straight line.
No.
It's very difficult.
So full credit to anybody who's come from anywhere else and won one on Sydney Harbour or even got close possibly, you know, it's just not that easy.
So we're just trying to get up into Double Bay with the champion, Smeg. See if he's going to get a championship ribbon, which is traditional in the 18-footers to put the ribbon on the winner. It's always a nice touch and it's been going on for many, many years.
And it kind of dates back to the days when they had on-water umpires. So before some of the more sophisticated forms of the sport or the more modern forms got umpires, these boats sailed under a different set of rules and got disqualified on the water. So they could always award the ribbon. And that all changed in about Kenny Beechel's era, I think, Pete.
Kenny changed a lot of things.
Yeah, including that. So Kenny steering the schema in 1963, but got close a couple of other times and had some big incidents in a series in New Zealand as well, I seem to recall.
Got very friendly with a big powerboat driver over there, I think. And
yeah.
Got somewhat in his way. I think it was a naval patrol vessel or some vessel, but anyway. One of the great characters, another wonderful sailing family, sons Colin and Adam. Colin, a multiple Olympian, America's Cup winner. This is coming up into Double Bay now. The spectator ferry next to Smeg. It's coming into view now.
The last day of the Giltitan's here today too, ferries. They've got one out of the mothball fleet by the look of that one.
I saw Rob Brown aboard one of the ferries. Another
Phil Barnett was
winner,
on there too.
Phil Barnett, the Cub. We've seen Peter Sorensen here during the week. All winners indeed. I know Michael Spees is watching from his palatial home in the Gold Coast. Double winner on the title.
And just on screen now, Noakes Blue, Yvette's best race of the series today.
She sails really well on the heavy breeze too, doesn't she?
She does. She handles the boat very, very well.
Little reef in, and they're fairly light crew, so... Yeah. And I did do the inquiry, Peter, actual real weights for the smugglers. Guess what? They might be the heaviest crew here. So all those races where it was just medium range, fat was fast. Fat was... That's what we used to say.
Yes.
You know.
So I'll tell Trent Barnabas you think he's fat.
No, I didn't say that.
No.
I asked him very politely what the accurate weight was, all right?
Well, who's fat then? Ricky Bridge.
No, none of them are fat, mate. They're just big boys.
Okay. That's
Big bone.
Yeah.
So 272 we decided was correct weight.
Wow.
Yeah. One of Trent's hands weighs as much as me, mate. Come on, give us a break.
He's a solid operator.
Yeah.
More ways than one.
Yeah.
Just slowly sailing into Double Bay, and we're just waiting, and hopefully there'll be a championship ribbon placed on the boat.
Sometime soon. So what happens here? Usually they get the championship ribbon and put the presentee into a rubber boat alongside from the ferry. Makes the connection to the spectators pretty immediate. Always a bit of trouble because the lee of the ferry is not conducive to stability in the skiff, and there might be some grumpy punters who've lost their money as well. Been known to chuck beer cans full or empty at the crew. There's some risk involved here.
Michael Coxon looking around. He doesn't know where he's meant to go. I don't think he's looking over at the ferry.
He'll just keep chugging up towards the club, and I'll catch up with him.
The ferry's going to Leah Point Piper now. Maybe that's a bit of a clue
There's a clue. So that's
to get out of the wind.
the chosen place.
Yeah, they've starting to ease away. No, are they? Yeah, Coco looks under the boom. Away they go down towards the ferry. This could be the moment. The official crowning of the champion.
And all the other blokes are under instructions to hang around.
Yeah, which is nice. I think that's
No,
wonderful, really.
no, that's right. It's, and, you know, amongst the crews, there is a heap of respect. You know, everybody knows that it's a tough game, and the winner has usually earned it.
A deserved winner, exactly.
Pretty solidly.
These boys have indeed.
And it's sort of interesting, you know. Coco's a bit sort of old school skiff, as is perhaps Trent and Ricky. You know, put her up. Don't care about how much wind there is. Let's have a go. And to some degree, they've got, you know, pretty good technical support from outside the boat. We say you need a bit of that and a bit of OCD. They've got obviously just enough of each.
Oh, jeez. Well, I know they've got ability. I don't know about. Jeez.
No, and brain power, to be really honest.
But
right?
they're fat and OCD. Wow, they don't do a bad job then.
No, you can't win without some OCD, Pete.
Okay, we're in the lee of Point Piper. They're just looking over the ferry. We'll probably see Julian Bethwaite appear if he's there.
Wow, in the yellow coat. How about that?
Traditionally no shoes for Julian.
Yep. And the lee of the ferry doing its magic.
Yeah, there's a nice little puff coming round it.
It's not too close, Jimmy. It's a good stunt.
Great
It's
overhead shot.
Julian there in the blue
Yeah.
with shoes.
Contact secured. Oh, it's Greg Kay in the yellow.
Kay in the yellow, yeah. Okay, there's Julian Bethwaite, the former champion.
The best deck shoes you can buy.
Another well-known sailing family. Just presenting the ribbon now as we watch to Smeg.
Come around, Jimmy, quick.
Ricky Bridge, Trent Barnabas, Michael Coxon. Job done.
And now they've got to hoist it without a wine glass. And that's been known to go wrong also. Oh. And the rest of the fleet coming back to
Congratulate them.
to endorse the victory.
Trent just trying to tie the ribbon to the spinnaker halyard and hoist the ribbon aloft. Oh, Ricky Bridge, stay on your feet. He's got to undo the spinnaker halyard off the spinnaker and then Hope they know how to tie a knot here, Bucko. They've got to tie office boy hitch.
Office boy hitch or
Yeah.
two.
Or a knife knot.
Nice knot, that'll do it.
Yeah. All the skiffs hanging around, which is terrific to see.
There goes the
There
ribbon
we
up.
go. The ribbon.
No,
Didn't get clear.
It's caught under the...
the D1. Oh, there you go.
There it
Trent
is.
just ripped it out.
Just need a bit of apparent wind now to make it stream, and the job's done. No apparent wind, Pete.
No, it's very quiet in there. Some nice real estate in the background.
In the light and variable zone. There we go. Caught around the top stay.
Nice.
Should blow out, I think. Oh, will it?
Good luck with that one. Here she goes.
Ribbon finally gets itself untangled, and it'll blow out from the masthead in a moment. Or it's caught in the vortex of the lee, is it? Oh.
Behind the square top.
Yeah. Is that a good word, Bucko? Vortex?
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do.
We're happy with that.
Well,
Read Bucko's vocabulary book he's just putting out.
we've seen a wonderful series. There's no question about that. This year's titles brought to you by the winning group. Smeg will be the title holder. The winning group will be second, and Noakes Sailing a fine third. As they're sailing home now to Double Bay. There'll be a few thank yous. I know Jimmy Bury would like to say a few thank yous. And we should say thank you to you, firstly, for providing this wonderful vessel and absolutely marvellous effort driving this boat around to enable us to get some shots. So, Jimmy, over to you.
Thanks, Pete. I just really wanted to say thanks to yourself, Bucko. Absolute pleasure working with you two guys. To Chits for all the hard work you've put in, mate. Thanks very much. Piers, awesome on the top cam. Dill, down the back, flying the drone. Awesome work even today in the rain. Absolutely love you guys and the work you guys do and you put in. It's a lot of fun working with you. Had Jack and Caleb jump in and help us out. And yeah, the other ones to thank are the guest commentators, but yeah, particularly the team here today. Awesome work, and yeah, looking forward to working with you guys hopefully in the future.
Great. Well, thanks, Jimmy. Smeg, of course, the title holders, Michael Coxon, second time as skipper, the winner of the JJs, I must say that. Trent Barnabas, his sixth title. Ricky Bridge, his second. And they very deserved, popular winners as the fleet wend their way home. So we'll wrap this up from a wet and windy Sydney Harbour. It's been a marvellous regatta. I don't think anyone could wish for better racing. Just wish our friends from New Zealand could have been here, and we wish them well over there, and hopefully we'll see them back in 12 months' time. So on behalf of the commentary team, Andrew, I'd like to thank you and Jimmy for all that we've been over the last 10 days or so. Chits and the boys, a big thank you. So for the final time, I think we're going to say goodbye from Sydney Harbour. Smeg the champions, winning group second, Noakes Sailing third, winning group winning today's race from Tech 2 and Finport. So it's all over. We say goodbye from Sydney Harbour, and we hope you can join us for our next time when we bring this sailing to you from Sail Media, and we look forward to your company then. So this is Peter Shipway saying farewell